Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming to the Spectrum and Senior Planet North Country Laptop Program Celebration. My name is Marco DiGirolamo, and I am the New York State Program Manager for Older Adult Technology Services and Senior Planet. Today's event is to highlight the generous donation of 50 laptops by Spectrum. Due to this donation, we were able to expand our computer-based programming exponentially, and the impact that it's had on our members and the North Country older adults is truly amazing. Today's event, we're going to have some special guests speak, Assemblyman Billy Jones and New York State Senator Dan Stec. And we will also hear from our members who have been impacted by this, by the program. Now, to kick off, I will like to introduce the Senior Director of Government Affairs from Spectrum, Jill Luther.
Thank you so much, Marco. As Marco noted, my name is Jill Luther. I am the Senior Director of Government Affairs for Charter Communications. You may also know us as Spectrum for our advanced broadband products and services. Charter serves 3.5 million customers in New York State. We also employ nearly 11,000 charter workers across New York State. At Charter, we work with a variety of nonprofit organizations like Older Adult Technology Services to lend support to the important work that they're doing in the communities. It's our mission to build on that support, to build strong communities, to make a positive impact in the communities that our employees and our customers live and work in. Charter is committed to improving broadband and tech adoption in our communities. We offer a program called Spectrum Internet Assist, which is an industry-leading low-income broadband program, available to qualifying low-income families and senior citizens. In addition to this, we also fund various philanthropic efforts, including grants that provide computers, digital education classes. We fund technology labs for thousands of people across the country. One of our key philanthropic initiatives is called our Spectrum Digital Education Program, which is designed to support nonprofit organizations that educate community members on the benefits of broadband and how to use it effectively to enhance your lives. This $6 million national commitment to digital education is taking place in Spectrum communities across the country. And today, we are very excited to announce Spectrum Digital Education partnership with Oats. I'd like to share just a short video with you now to show you a little bit more.
Broadband. It connects our world, our communities, and brings us closer to the people who matter most. This is Spectrum Digital Education. As part of our community impact, Spectrum is partnering with nonprofit organizations to educate community members on the benefits of broadband and how to use the internet to make their lives better. From connecting seniors with their families to teaching people how to better manage their finances and improving their technology skills for today's fast-paced world.
I'm excited to learn about this workshop so that I can get a really good job.
Through financial grants, webinars, workshops, and public service announcements, Spectrum Digital Education is empowering those in need with the vital tools to make a difference.
Spectrum is investing in the community, both locally and nationally, and that's very important to us.
It doesn't matter your age, you can do it. You can do what you want to do.
Because everyone deserves to succeed in the digital age.
Great, and thank you. So with that, I am so proud to announce Charter Communications support to Oats with a Spectrum Digital Education grant of 50 laptop computers. These laptop computers will be used by Oats Computer Basics and Beyond the Basics computer courses, which are designed to help program participants learn how to use the internet, how to become more connected with family and friends, how to shop online, how to, search and access other resources that we all know are important and available online. So we are also really encouraged to, by this ongoing partnership that we have with Oats. In fact, this is not the first time that we have successfully collaborated with Oats to bolster Charter's digital literacy efforts. They previously received a $50,000 grant from Charter through our 2018 Spectrum New York State Broadband Access and Learning Grant Initiative. This funding supported their Senior Planet at Home program, which provides homebound seniors in Clinton and Franklin counties with access to the internet and provides in-home training using iPads. At Charter, we are, really proud to be recognized by Oats for our corporate citizenship as a great community partner here, as a leader in New York State, ensuring that our older adult community has access to broadband and understands how to effectively use it to, grow and prosper in the digital age. So we're looking forward to hearing a little bit more about that from our program participants in just a few minutes. But before we do that, I have the distinct honor of introducing our distinguished guests today. I am pleased to first introduce one of New York State's newest senators, Senator Dan Stec. Senator Stec has previously served 4 terms in the New York State Assembly and was instrumental in the passage of not only 1, but 3 constitutional amendments that were, vital to the Adirondack community. So Senator Stec, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you, Jill, for that introduction, and thank you all for the opportunity to participate today. This is a great day. I'm thankful certainly to Spectrum for their generous grant to Oats. As you can tell from my gray hair, I'm in my early 50s, and I'm blessed. I still have my mom and dad with me, and I see them almost every day here in town. And so as I watch my mom and dad get older, it's really funny when you start talking about digital issues, because my mom, through her career and through her work as a secretary in the high school, she grew up with technology in the workplace. She went from the digital copiers and then eventually into a word processor, and then of course into the software. And today she's the one that's connected in the house. She uses her phone all the time. She's always bugging me to help her get a new phone, but she's on the internet and she's emailing and she's searching and she's on Facebook. But the flip side of that is my father, who was a forest ranger. He grew up in the woods and he worked his career in the woods. Very little exposure to the technology, and he's completely reliant on my mom. In fact, the joke that our family has is that my mom is my father's Siri, and he will just say, "Hey Elsie, check this, or look up this, or tell me how to do this," and she goes online and does it. So so the mission that Oats has, moving forward and trying to make sure that seniors are learning and it's available to them, and it's not as intimidating, because it's such an important part of our day. And then now in the COVID world, where we've got so much, even increased reliance on our connection through the internet for telehealth and for keeping in touch with our loved ones. I mean, it's an even more important thing for everybody, our school-age kids, our workforce. So I know Assemblyman Jones and I were committed to working on our end in Albany on your behalf for broadband and for access. But certainly you got to have the tools to connect. And so this laptop donation is important to the work that Oats is doing to educate seniors and to make sure that they're not intimidated by it. So it's really nice as a public servant to see so many pieces coming together like this. Our corporate citizens are generous in their support of the technology and the grant funding, but then the volunteers that are out in our communities reaching out to our seniors, and the seniors that are willing to learn so that they can take care of themselves, each others, and certainly access to their younger family members. So my congratulations to Oats, and thanks again to Spectrum, and it's a real privilege to be here. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Thanks, Jill.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Senator. We really appreciate you joining us today. I now have the honor of introducing our second speaker, New York State Assemblyman Billy Jones. Assemblyman Jones joined the New York State Assembly in 2016, where he has been a tremendous advocate for broadband access and digital literacy for our senior communities. Assemblyman Jones, thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, it's great to be here, and thank you, Jill, for the introduction. And I'm just going to echo some of the things that Dan had said. First of all, thank you so much to Charter. This is a wonderful program. It's a program that I'm passionate about, Senior Planet and Oats. I've grown attached to it ever since I joined the Assembly. Was able to provide some vital funding for them. So obviously, this is an important initiative that Oats and Senior Planet has taken, and they also need the support. So I want to thank Charter for the support, the 50 laptops, and also the grant opportunities in the past. And I know that you will continue to support this important program, because it is. I say this is one of my most passionate programs because I've actually seen it in action. I've seen people learn from this. I've seen seniors connect to the world. They connect to their families. They've started up businesses out of this. They've done so much with this program. So it's important to have that corporate sponsorship, as Dan said. And, you know, you can provide all the learning and all the techniques. They still need the technology to do it. So that's again, a necessity. So thank you to Charter. And as Dan said, we continue to push for broadband accessibility and internet accessibility for the North Country and throughout New York State. We certainly need to, our seniors need to have that connection. Senior Planet and Oats do such a great job of teaching them how to use this technology, but we need that accessibility to high-speed internet to get them connected. So we'll continue to do that. You have our promise on that. Just want to thank Charter again for all the work in their sponsorship of this wonderful program. And we'll get into a little more throughout the program on what this means to us and what it means to our seniors. Because at the end of the day, it's connecting seniors to technology so that they can adapt to this. And as was mentioned, throughout this pandemic, it's only put a further spotlight on the connection that on the technology connection that we need to provide for our seniors and for all of our residents. So thank you so much. It's great to be here, and I look forward to the rest of the program.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Assemblyman. And thank you again to both of our guests. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us today for this important announcement. And Marco, with that, I will turn the program back over to you, sir.
Sorry about that. So I'm now going to introduce three of our participants, one of which is a former member turned trainer. And we can kick off with Patsy. Just give me one moment, Patsy. You're good to go.
Thank you. So my name is Patsy Loplam, and I've been a member of Senior Planet Oats since March of 2018. I joined because I believed that I would struggle with reduced activity due to my recent retirement, boredom, and the fact that it was harder to keep up with the fast-paced technology once I was out of the workforce. At the heart of senior living, for everyone I believe, is to live life to its fullest. I signed up for over 10 plus 5- and 10-week classes during my 2 years with Senior Planet. Some classes were taken twice in case I missed something the first time, and the fact that some of the classes were just delightful and very informative. Another plus are the people I've met and the friends they have become outside of the classroom. Some important skills learned were staying connected with friends and family, online banking, digital payments, search engines, website design, and picking up digital skills related to my photography business. This will be my second year designing my nature calendar with photos throughout the North Country and the Adirondacks. Lakeside Books in Plattsburgh now sells my calendars, my cards, and my framed photos. Of course, you can't have a good experience with Senior Planet without mentioning the teachers. And my teachers at that time were Marco, Jamie, and Michael. No questions were considered out of bounds, stupid, etc. I would not be where I am without the help and encouragement from the staff at Senior Planet. I believe through the use of technology and communication, seniors can see decreases in loneliness and in turn experience better mental and physical health, fewer chronic conditions, high well-being, and lower depressions. Keeping in touch with Senior Planet staff and doing the classes online during the pandemic has been a lifesaver for me and for others. I want to extend a big thank you to the support for our local legislators and also Spectrum for their kind donation of the laptop. Having the laptops to work with during our classes was truly a godsend. I can't say enough for everybody that's here, and thank you for attending.
Thank you, Patsy. I actually have one of Patsy's calendars and they're beautiful. So next, I'm going to pass it over to one of our other participants, Khao, Solori, Rusco. Oh, Khao, you're muted.
Okay, how's that?
Perfect.
Okay. My first introduction to computers was in the late 1980s when I became a teacher in residence at the North Country Teacher Resource Center at SUNY Plattsburgh. Before that, I never touched a computer. And it was kind of an OJT learning. And it was kind of scary. I heard the word email and I had no idea what it was, and it sounded like sci-fi. But I did learn how to do basic computer. I did learn basic computer skills. I didn't have much. I was really thrown into it. So my introduction to computers was through Netric, was through after-school classes. As an educator, I was an adult learner, learning computers that are just second nature to kids for the past few years. I heard about Senior Planet from friends and it piqued my interest. And I wanted to see what it was all about and what kinds of courses were provided by Senior Planet. And believe me, I was very, very pleasantly surprised. There were all kinds of courses to choose from, web design, basic and advanced computers, iPad basics, learning how to use your iPhone for photographs, the Internet of Things, staying healthy and active, a course in which participants were lent a Fitbit, if needed, to track daily fitness and exercise levels, to name a few. The trainers were and remain amazing. There didn't seem to be a question they couldn't answer. Senior Planet and its incredible trainers like Jamie and Michael, with Marco at the helm, have shared their knowledge and expertise over the past few years with older adults who want to learn greater technology and literary skills in the use of computers, laptops, iPhones, iPads, and so on. In addition, Senior Planet offers or supports classes emphasizing good physical and emotional health and the various technologies associated with fitness. Taking tech courses and fitness courses really was a win-win situation for me. I've learned so much. I've met wonderful people in my classes. I feel much more connected to technology. I've learned to see Senior Planet to embrace technology. I use the internet to search and research, to order online, to do online banking, to track my level of exercise and fitness, to participate in Zoom, to stream movies and series from Netflix as examples. Much of this would not have been possible without my experience with Senior Planet. I'd like to once again thank Senior Planet, our legislators, for their constant support, and to Spectrum for their generous laptop donations, which have enabled more computer classes to be offered at Senior Planet.
Thank you so much, Carol. And Last but not least, our member who's now turned technology trainer, Josie Delaney.
Thank you, Marco. Assemblyman Jones and Senator Stec, good to see you again. Jill with Spectrum, glad to meet you. Thank you for your support of Senior Planet. While the basic premise of Senior Planet is technology training for older adults, it really is so much more than that. As Tom Camber, founder and director of Oats, says, we harness technology to change the way we age. I first heard about Senior Planet from friends who were attending classes at the Malone Adult Center, and they all raved about it, but I could not attend due to my work schedule. And in addition to word of mouth, I had a chance to see the classes in session when I went to the Adult Center to teach weekly exercise classes to seniors. What stood out for me was how much fun everyone was having, the camaraderie, and how engaged they were, as well as the scope and variety of topics that were being taught. Then in May of 2017, due to a reduction in force, I was suddenly unemployed and immediately started attending Senior Planet classes. I submitted my resume in case a trainer position became available, and lo and behold, a position opened up in August. As a Senior Planet member, even though I was already very proficient in technology, I was exposed to so much that I may not have been otherwise, from the basics of just adjusting settings on electronic devices and apps, to drones, to Twitter and Instagram, to name a few. And as a trainer, many things come to mind of how Senior Planet transforms our members. I see them connecting with their friends, their family, with the world through email, video chats, Zoom, and advocacy campaigns like our bus trips to Albany Lobby Day to visit with legislators and our letter writing campaigns to have our voices heard. I see creativity, members using graphic design programs to create cards, calendars, even books, and I see entrepreneurship. I see curiosity. We can Google anything and we have the world at our fingertips. Virtual museum tours, mindfulness and meditation, shopping 24/7, which may or may not be a good thing, telehealth, exercise classes galore, wearables such as Fitbits, learning a new language, protecting your personal information online, YouTube tutorials on everything from cabinetry to how to build raised beds and gardens, to fixing plumbing problems, and even how to cut your own hair. All examples from what students have reported doing. Without the generous donation of 50 laptops from Spectrum, we would not have been able to increase the numbers of our in-person classes. This allowed us to reach more adults in the North Country. One of my students, a 78-year-old gentleman, on his graduation day said that Senior Planet was the only class in his entire life that he never wanted to skip, and he had perfect attendance twice a week for 10 weeks. That may be the best testimonial ever. So Assemblyman Jones, Senator Stec, and Spectrum, on behalf of Senior Planet staff and all of our members, thank you for your support and for being champions of this visionary and life-changing program.
Thank you so much, Josie, and thank you to all of our participants for speaking on behalf of Senior Planet programming. So next, we are going to have a Q&A between with our elected officials. We've collected a few questions from our participants today, as well as other members of our organization. And these questions are to, as I mentioned, our amazing legislators. So the first question is, now that we have the digital literacy tools to get online and navigate the internet, thanks to the Senior Planet programming, what are some state online resources and/or programs you both suggest we use? And anyone can take that one away.
I'll jump in. Two that come off the top of my head that I would suggest people check out. The state has a very good web presence and a website. They put a lot of energy into it over the years, and the state office for aging. If you go, Google New York State Office for Aging, it'll take you there, and there's a lot of resources there and a lot of other links, elder care, benefits, AARP. There's just a lot of really good information through the Office of the Aging site. And the other one that comes to my mind is New York Connects. So I would those are the two that immediately pop into my head. Billy, I took the two easy ones, Billy.
Yeah, that's Dan's exactly right. Those are great resources. Those are the two that popped into my head. I would also, just online resources if you wanted to connect in the good old-fashioned way of picking up a telephone. United Way sponsors through state funding a great 211 call. I'm sure that many of you are on this are aware of that. That can connect you to many resources and actually connect you to online resources as well. So I would, on top of what Dan said, those are two excellent resources. New York Connects has done a wonderful job at that, connecting seniors. And if you want to do the good old-fashioned way, 211 can also get you to those online connections and actually get you to those agencies and help that you could possibly need at that time. So those are great resources, and we're always looking for the state to maybe connect resources and consolidate them. I know that there's legislation out there to, as the way that 211 does through telephone technology, to go to a one-stop shop, so to speak, through the internet to make sure that seniors can be connected to all the resources available to them through that as well. So we are looking to do that.
Great, thank you for answering that. Next question is, with remote doctor visits becoming something that's here to stay, how do you see telemedicine evolving in the North Country? And that's to either.
Well, I'll dive into this one, and Dan can hit cleanup on this. We have seen through this pandemic, obviously, what a valuable resource telehealth is, telemedicine is. There is legislation out there, and to give a little credit, there are things in the budget that further expand on telehealth and telemedicine avenues. But in that realm, in Senior Planet, and Oats do a great job of teaching our seniors the technology. But in that realm, and Dan and I think we just each did some press on this yesterday. We need to make sure that we are connected to the internet, to good quality internet here in the North Country. And telemedicine is great. Telehealth is great. It connects people. But if you don't have that connection, that technology there, then it's useless. So we continue to work on getting internet, high-speed internet into every area of our districts, Dan's district and my district, to make sure in the North Country, to make sure people have that connection. There are certain steps that we are taking, and hopefully this will come through the budget process, where telehealth becomes an even greater reality for people. And I think it's an excellent way to connect our seniors to healthcare, and we need to continue to do that.
And I'll start by agreeing with what Billy just said, and just add to it a little bit that there's a lot of moving parts to this, and there's certain things that are in the end user's control, like trying to learn technology and how to use it. But then there's certain things that aren't, that are something that Billy and I and our colleagues need to continue to work on, which is finding a way to make sure that you can connect to the internet. But I completely agree with the question that I think telemedicine and telehealth are here to stay, and I think that's a good thing. For a lot of people, either the issue is simple enough where you're like, geez, I'm going to drive 45 minutes to go see a doctor, where they're going to take a look at something that they could have looked at on video, and save myself that the hassle of traveling. And if you're getting older, if it's bad weather, that kind of thing, that's a really good convenience to have. And likewise, it's good for our own efficiency of the health system to keep things moving along and not clogging up. So I think that it's a good addition, but again, if you don't have connection to the internet, then it's meaningless. So that's something that we all need to keep working on. And I know it's frustrating. I'm frustrated. I know that seniors are frustrated from the telehealth side. Imagine parents with school-age kids. They're frustrated that their kids are trying to learn remotely from school right now, and not all of them have great broadband connection. So there's a lot of different constituencies that are pushing us to get this done, and it's taking time, and it's taking longer than certainly Bill or I would have wanted it to. But doesn't mean that we're not going to keep pushing hard on it and get this done. But I think it's definitely here to stay. And so what people that are involved in Senior Planet and Oats can do is your end, which is try to learn and be open to learning the internet and how to access it and connect. But I think it's going to be a great resource. It's going to get people healthcare that otherwise may not have been getting healthcare either. So it's a good thing.
And just to go along with that, Dan had mentioned, what do we have here in the North Country, and it's one of our staples. It's remoteness, and how many times have we heard people going to the doctor's office or seniors and just saying, well, I went in there and it was I waited in the waiting room for an hour, and the doctor came out, or the nurse practitioner came out, and told me everything that I could have learned could have learned in 5 minutes. So we're traveling sometimes in the instance of 2 hours each, an hour each way, or a couple of hours for something that could be easily done over technology, with telehealth and telemedicine technology. So I think it saves people time. It certainly saves people the travel and the hassle of getting out. And as we've seen in the last couple of days here, sometimes in the North Country things can be a little unpredictable to drive in and to get to places. So I think it is here, so we might as well take advantage of it. But as Dan said, we need to make sure that we get those to get that broadband and that high-speed internet connection to our residents, and that's one thing that we continue to push for, and we will continue to push for.
Great. The next question is, how does the New York State budget deficit affect the Oats funding?
I'll jump in first by saying that, certainly, with a $15 billion gap in our budget, and we're waiting to see, exactly what's going to come out of Washington. It looks like there's some movement last night on this, and we'll be finding out in the near future what that means to the state and to our local municipalities. But bottom line is it'll come to no surprise to anybody that we're in a financial pickle, and that's going to affect every aspect of the budget. So it's a challenge. It's always a challenge, but more so this year than in years past. But with that said, though, Billy has championed this, I know, for years locally as, representing Clinton and Franklin County. I'm new to Clinton and Franklin County, but I've been supportive of it as well. We're going to be doing a letter on our end to encourage continued funding. I'm sure that Billy is as well. He always does. But so we'll advocate on our end for it. But, again, it won't surprise anybody that, this is going to be a tough budget year. And we're just going to have to all do the best we can.
Yeah, well, and as Dan had mentioned, federal support is definitely important in this, the new federal stimulus package. And as he had mentioned last night, they made steps to getting that state and local aid that we so desperately need, because without that aid, our budgets in good years are very tricky. We run a deficit here in New York State, and obviously during the pandemic, with the loss of sales tax and the loss of just revenue coming in, it's been detrimental to our budget. So the more federal aid that we get to fill those holes in other areas of our budget, the better off that the better off that we can advocate to get money for Senior Planet and for Oats. I'm happy that in the last 4 years that I've secured over $900,000 for this important program. I'm very passionate about this program. I will continue to fight for this program. And Dan had mentioned that he will as well. I see what a difference this program makes. And I said it in my opening. This is one of the most rewarding programs or initiatives that I have seen. And I got involved early on with Senior Planet and Oats early on in my assembly career. I actually knew about it before I became an assembly member in my days at Franklin County Legislature. It's great to see that I see Jose on the phone. It's great to see that we have expanded it into Malone and into other parts of Franklin County as well. And I have people coming up to me, from all over upstate saying, hey, what do we do to get that? Hey, how can we get that? We heard this, So when you hear and you see that, you know that it's a great program. And just those stories that we've heard, that we heard before, from Patsy and Carol and Jose, those are wonderful stories. And if that doesn't sell you on this program, then nothing will. And I've always said that when you want to find out about something, you listen to the people that it's affecting. And if those stories touch you in the way that they do and that they have affected me, then you'll fight for that program. And we'll continue to fight for that program. You have my promise on that, that I will continue to do that. We are already putting our budget ask out there for Senior Planet and Oats. It will be in mind, but we need that federal aid to get here, and we need a significant shot in the arm with it. So we'll continue to push for it, and I'm more hopeful of getting that important funding to Senior Planet than I was maybe a month or a month and a half ago. I'm more hopeful today that we'll be able to bring that across for this year.
Thank you both. Our fourth question is, how can we all support and expand access to the development of technology and training to reach socially isolated older New Yorkers during the pandemic?
Well, I'll jump in and steal a little bit of Billy's thunder, because he's been talking about how great his experience over the last few years representing Senior Planet and Oats, but it's programs like those. It really is. It's whatever these programs of education, anything you can do to lower people's anxiety, to learn new technology. You have to have the technology to teach too, but you also have to get people that are willing to walk through that digital door and say, hey, I'm new to this. I feel, it's understandably, it's a little embarrassing. Early on, in my political career, one of the organizations that I got involved with was literacy volunteers. And again, think about that. This is digital literacy that we're talking about now. But if you're new to the country and English is a new language for you, and you don't know how to read and write English, or if you dropped out of school at an early age for whatever reason, and now you're realizing I want to learn, I want to become literate. That one of the biggest challenges that we saw in literacy volunteers was that people were embarrassed. That was a big hurdle for them to overcome. But if you could get them to go through that door, that there were people that were willing and that knew how to teach an adult learner, hey, this is how this works. And so I think there's also safety in numbers. No one wants to stand out. So a school of fish always feels a little more secure. So I think if seniors realize that, hey, I'm not alone, that there are a lot of people out there like this, like my father, who I think my mom has given up on, and she's happy to be his Siri. But again, there's two parents and there's two different ends of the spectrum just in my own life. One is comfortable with technology and another one is intimidated by it. But leaning on each other and hey, let's do this and make it a social kind of thing. So I think it's lowering the barrier, but then obviously you have to have the resources to host and instruct. And that's where, the funding that Oats receives from the state and from other sources is important, so that Senior Planet can be that resource to people in that part of the North Country. And so we need to encourage that as much as we can as well. But it's all about communicating and lowering people's anxiety.
Yeah, Marco, I think and Dan did answer that correctly. I think this program right here, you answered your own question, or whoever asked the question answered their own question with with this, with what you're doing here. And I want to, take my hats off to Marco and Jose and Jamie and all the other instructors at senior. I can't see anybody else, but I probably missed somebody. But just the job that you do, and Alex, he's probably on the line. Just the job that you all do in connecting people to that technology. And let's go back to the stories that we heard earlier. The stories from the three ladies. I mean, that's all you have to know about this program and what they said to realize how important it is. And that's why it is vitally important that we continue that funding. And, we've seen it through the pandemic, people, the isolation, that's the number one thing that I hear about from people, throughout. I mean, during different stages in the pandemic, there'll be issues that come up, but throughout it is isolation from family members. And technology does have a key part to play in that. And we certainly need to keep our seniors connected to their family members, to people, their friends, to doing all the other things that you talked about. Carol brought up fitness. I mean, what a way to keep people connected when we can't be together. What a way to keep people connected through all those things. And I've seen it. I've been to Senior Planet multiple times. It's like a family now. I love going there because you hear all these people. You hear people coming up. I have the story of the 70-some-year-old veteran coming up to me, kind of a fellow that never thought he would, even be involved in getting connected in technology or computer. He said, I didn't want anything to do with it. His wife got him involved. He started going to Senior Planet, started doing the classes. He loves it. I mean, it's just that kind of connection that the Senior Planet family make to other people. And like I said, we need to expand on this. We need to get that word out there to our seniors because they need to be connected as well. And you guys do such a wonderful job at that. After we talk, usually the first or second thing people say is the wonderful teachers, the wonderful instructors in this program. They have been so great with me. I felt intimidated. I felt, they use the word dumb and coming in here, which they shouldn't have, but they said they had no means whatsoever for technology, and the teachers and the advisors, people were patient with them. They kept going over it with them. They understood, they got it. Let's face it, technology, I'm intimidated by technology, extremely intimidated by it. My 7-year-old daughter knows a lot more about it than I do, believe me. But thank you to the wonderful job that you are doing. And the more we can get people connected through this technology to fight this isolation that we're all going through right now, and especially our seniors, hats off. That's why Dan and I are so passionate about this, and we'll continue to fight for funding in it. And Dan, I know we'll be up to, once we get back to some kind of normal and we get back into, Marco said, hopefully soon. Yes. Hopefully we get back into that, into Senior Planet in the mall. And Dan, of course, I know will be up there and he'll see firsthand, not that he doesn't already know, but he'll see firsthand the amazing things that you guys are doing. And we'll be back there and supporting and seeing what this program does and how it is so meaningful to so many people.
Billy read my mind. I already made a note that one of the things I would like to do whenever it's convenient is I want to get up and visit Senior Planet in person. I remember Senior Planet has come down to the Legislative Office building in the past for lobby efforts, which is a good thing. That's another thing I'll just mention right now. Always a good idea to advocate for yourselves, whether it's on the phone or with letters or emails. And certainly if you have the opportunity to come to Albany, that's never a bad idea. But I'd like to come and return the favor and with a return visit and visit in person when appropriate, when you want me.
Great. Thank you, Senator Stec and Assemblyman Jones, for answering those great questions. I don't have any further questions. So we will conclude the event. I would like to send a big thank you to Assemblyman Jones and Senator Stec for being here today and hearing all the wonderful stories that our members had to share. I would like to thank Spectrum for their generous donation once again. As we've heard time and time again through this event, it's been great. It's been a great resource for us to really expand our computer-based programming. And when we were in person, it was really amazing, but it transitioned over to online when the pandemic hit. The knowledge that our members gained from using those computers really transitioned, and they're now able to attend our online programming. So thank you so much, Spectrum.
Marco, could I just mention one more thing? I know it's hard, once I get going, it's hard to cut me off, but thank you. And by the way, when we're talking about the use of technology through getting help to people, Senior Planet approached me. We had a nice sit down with Marco and Alex through Zoom a month or two ago about helping people navigate to get online for vaccination. So that's just another thing that Senior Planet has taken the lead on to help people, because we get calls in my office all the time through this, and I know the vaccination rollout has been, don't even get me going on that. But that's another thing I want to thank you for, because you guys stepped up and said, how can we help with this? And I said, you know what, a lot of this is gonna, it's gonna be, our seniors are gonna have to navigate through this this cumbersome online portal to get appointments. So I would encourage people also to reach out to you guys if they need help with that as well. And that's another great thing. And by the way, the red looks good on everybody. It's National Wear Red Day. Thank you. A cause close to my heart, and also Senior Planet's colors. So I think it's appropriate. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Assemblyman Jones. And then last big thank you to all of our participants today, all of our members. You are the heartbeat to our programming. It's great to see all of you once again. It's been a while since I've seen all of you, but thank you so much for giving your testimonials today. It's greatly appreciated. And one last shout out, I feel like I'm at the Academy Awards. Thank you to my team. Jamie, thank you so much for help coordinating this. It's been, I've loved sitting here today and hearing everybody's testimonials and hearing from the Assemblyman and the Senator today. So thank you so much.
And Marco, to you too, thank you. You did a great job moderating. Thank you.
Thank you, Josie.
Yes, thank you everybody for your support.
Thank you. Have a safe weekend, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Bye. Have a good
Thank you
weekend.
again. Thanks, Spectrum.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.